I know the vibe. We know the vibe is as he vibes in the cut. And today, we back with another reaction, boy. Ich made boy. But no, we about to be reacting to I spent 24 hours with Real Criminals by Law by Mike. Without further ado, we shall get into it.
Behind me are 5 former criminals, ranging from a credit card thief to a criminal on the FBI's most wanted list. I'm spending the next 24 hours with them to uncover their methods so that you know exactly what to look out for. To begin, I'm meeting a professional pickpocket who spent years perfecting his craft in the busiest cities in America. His name is James R. Hustle, and he used to make a living by stealing from people in plain sight. Today, he's going to show us exactly how pickpockets choose their targets and what you should look out for. So James, you spent years pickpocketing in cities like this. What makes people an easy target?
People not paying attention, people distracted, looking on the phone a lot. Like that guy over there at the free taco sample. He's over there having a conversation with the taco lady. You know, I could easily probably get him.
So how do you get close without raising suspicion?
That's the hard part. You know, most people don't expect someone to get in their personal space unless it's an aggressive manner. You know, pickpocketing, it's a subtle art form. It's not aggressive, it's not in your face. You don't see it coming. You know, it could be a tap, could be a brush. You know, somebody could walk by you. Oh, excuse me, sir.
Hey, wait, that's my phone, man.
In real life situations, it would have been a lot quicker than that. Now watch this.
All right, so he went into the store over there. I think he's got his target. Now he's pretending to look at some magnets. He's standing next to this guy in his green pants. Oh, he just reached in with his hand behind his back. He just took the phone. He just took the phone. He's got it.
I'm gonna go give it back to him.
Yeah, give it.
That nigga is quick. How do you need, bro? You're that distracted that you don't feel your phone lift up. You don't feel like you got some loose ass pockets. That's why the hell you didn't feel that
Back
shit.
to him.
Oh, pay attention.
That's crazy. Let's find someone else.
Spot I scoped out earlier was the skate park over here. Because if you look, everyone's close together, they're not spaced out, and they're preoccupied watching the skaters.
I see, so they're all distracted because they're looking a single way.
You know, you bump into someone over here on the boardwalk, it's gonna be like, why is he bumping into me with all this space? We look for moms with kids, maybe, you know, purses, not paying attention, they're checking on the kids.
All right, let's go see what you got. He's over at the skate park right now, looking like he's watching the skaters, but I think he's got a target over here. Looks like he's walking up to someone right now. He's right behind someone who's holding a kid.
Hey, excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah?
I was looking for this smoke shop right here, but I couldn't figure out where it was. I was looking everywhere, but the GPS isn't working.
He's asking her for directions, maybe. So I think I just saw him take it. I saw him, oh, he just took it, he took it. She's literally still helping him with directions. She has no idea, no way. Oh my gosh.
It's a nice one, it's got a little crack on it.
That's crazy. All right, you gotta give that back.
It's that easy? Nigga, that easy? Nigga, what? There's no way this nigga is doing this shit and they don't feel like no, they phone lift up. Niggas is really sticky fingers.
Hey, excuse me. Did you drop this?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Just to be clear, everyone gave their consent to be part of this demonstration. They were told it was a social experiment, but they had no idea what would happen or when it would happen. Now, you weren't always a pickpocket, so how did you end up like this?
My father was a notorious con artist. I grew up in a life of crime, pretty much. So that's all I pretty much knew from a small kid. You know, I'd see him conning people and scamming people, and then I just kind of picked up on it myself.
As a teenager, what would you do?
We'd hang out outside of sporting events. NFL games were a good one. Catch drunk people. Just look for people not paying attention, not aware of their surroundings.
And did this escalate over time?
Yeah, it's got some free money. Now it's like, all right, this is pretty easy. Let me get this person, this person, this person. And it's almost like an addiction.
And what made you want to turn your life around?
My daughter. Full custody of my daughter when she was 2 months old. So at that point, you know, I couldn't allow myself to be taken away from her. Cut everything out cold turkey. Started from scratch.
What were the 2 techniques that we just saw you demonstrate?
Well, the 2 main techniques with pickpocketing is the brush up or the bump. You know, when you bump into an unsuspected person, and it's almost like a sleight of hand. You bump and grab at the same exact time. And then there's also the distraction where you can have someone distracting for you, or you can use something that's already happening as a distraction.
And that's when you were asking someone for directions, you were distracting them.
Exactly. You got to think on your feet.
Well, what are some tips for people to prevent getting pickpocketed?
The number one is just pay attention attention to your surroundings. Always kind of be aware of what's going on. I think I do personally, when I'm walking, I'm constantly touching my wallet, you know, because I'm paranoid of someone doing it to me, you know, because I know how easily it can be done.
The next former criminal made his living breaking into houses, choosing his victims, walking through their front doors, and taking whatever he wanted. Most burglaries don't happen at night. They happen in broad daylight, while you're at work, while the kids are at school, and while the house looks empty. And for years, Mario Ponce was the guy walking through that door. Mario, you started breaking into homes as a teenager. What made someone's house an easy target?
Well, it's easier than people think. You see that house over there? Piled up newspaper, mailbox overflown, no car in the driveway for a couple of days. It's an open invitation.
So once you picked a house like this one, how'd you actually get inside?
Well, first of all, you don't want to look so suspicious. So what I wear is a construction.
There's a guy with the fucking all these tattoos walking through the neighborhood, scoping it out multiple times. I'm like, bro, I know you don't live over here. If wherever community I move to, I gotta know my neighbors. I have to. I gotta know everybody that's around me. Even as what's up, neighbor? What's up? Go on with your day.
Vest. Come on.
How does this vest help you?
Well, it makes you look more, you know, natural, you know? Maybe you might be checking the gas leaks or something. And you can say hi to the neighbors, you know, you see them. Okay, so you see these windows? I could easily open them with my hands, but you don't want to make it too obvious. So let's go around to the back, man. Usually they keep the doors open on the sides. Come on. All right. You know, I like these old-style houses. They're easier to break in. Everything's made out of wood. Remember, you don't want to leave any fingerprints. Come on. Okay, it's locked. Let's go check around the side. Usually people don't lock their side doors. All right, go ahead and try it. Wait. Remember, you gotta have the gloves on.
Yeah.
I was just testing you, man. Oh, it's locked. But check this out, look what I got.
Is that credit card?
Yeah.
That's
Wow,
crazy.
you did that so easily.
Easy money. Come on.
Once
Why
inside,
is
the
the
goal is to
top
figure
lock
out
not
where
locked?
a burglar might target first. Understanding their thought process could help you protect your home. What other things do you look for to get inside?
Usually houses like this have a basement. You could check that. If not, your last resort is to go through the upstairs window. And those ones are always open.
Wow. So where's the first place you'd head to?
Kitchen. Usually they keep a spare key there. Come on. You know, usually people keep their key in a drawer here and there it goes.
Now, why are you looking for a key?
You know, just in case I want to come back. You know, they have a lot of nice stuff here and I definitely want to be a continuing visitor, you know? You see anything you like?
No, man, I don't do the robbing.
You know what I mean? They got good taste in a lot of stuff.
Well, look, you're gonna take their drinks?
Yeah, for later on. But look, we already been here a minute. Come on, let's go to the master bedroom.
All right. What's so special about the master bedroom?
Well, here's where all the good stuff is at. Passports, cash. All right, so you know I don't really want to spend too much time here. I just want to grab anything I can and just be out. You know what I mean? In, out, that's it.
So if someone's watching this video and they want to keep burglars out, what's the best way to do that?
Well, first of all, I think you should get a small dog. The smaller, the better. They're so loud. Get some cameras.
Now, what about the doors and windows?
I mean, get some bars if you have to. You know, it depends on your community, but I would say get some deadbolts, you know, and honestly, get some prop money. 9 times out of 10, the robber won't even check that it's real.
Can you please just hear me out?
Bro,
No, all
what?
work management platforms are the same. They take forever to learn.
So it's not about making the house impossible to break into. It's about making it more difficult than it's worth for the burglar.
Pretty much.
So when we entered the house, the first places we went were the kitchen and the master bedroom. Where do you suggest viewers hide their valuables if it's not in those places?
I would say in the bank, but if you really have to, somewhere in the restroom. They'll never check that.
And where in the bathroom?
Put it in the stall. Put it in the bag, in the Ziploc bag, really tight.
You're talking about the part that you lift off of the toilet where all the water is? Ah,
Bro,
okay.
that's
They'll never
generic.
check that. I never have.
But now we're meeting someone who went even further. He stole from an international bank using an everyday laptop. So tell me about one of the biggest jobs you've pulled off.
People hire me to take the role of the criminal and to do an actual robbery. I was hired to rob a bank in Lebanon, and the problem was I didn't realize
Tennessee?
there was 2 different banks so close together. I didn't pay attention to the signage, so I just walked up the stairs. I compromised one machine, then I compromised another machine, and then a person finally did the right thing. He said, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm doing a USB audit," which is just nonsense. But he's like, "Well, you need to talk to my supervisor," which was also the correct thing. So I go into the supervisor's office. She reads the forged email that I have to show that I have authorization to be here, just to test them to see if they'll still let me do my thing. And she reads it, and then she looks at me and she says, okay, I see this, but this is for the bank next door. What are you doing here? And what did you do to our computers?
When you hacked into the bank, what were you able to see?
That's the thing. It's like once the system's compromised, it's like I'm literally just like the user who's logged onto the system. I can see anything that's on that system, anything that's on that network. I can look through clients' records. I can see their debt. I can see their transaction history.
You could see how much debt people had? I've actually been getting a lot of messages from my viewers about debt lately. Medical bills, credit cards.
Oh no.
Get in control of it.
As soon as they found out that I was not supposed to be there, I mean, within minutes, I'm in the general manager's office, sitting at his desk while there's 7 people speaking Arabic very angrily around me. It took 4 hours not to end up in Lebanese prison.
Interesting. Hearing what happened really reminds me of how much PDS Debt helps its customers. They don't just throw you into some generic program. First, they run a free debt assessment to understand your exact situation, your savings, income, everything. Then they lay out personalized options that fit your budget and goals. And it's not just banks, right? It's also individuals. You could hack someone in a place like this, right?
One of the things you see in the movies is like they try to make it all complicated and look like it's all this code floating around. No, it's just a matter of certain kind of devices that can take over a network. And I have several of them with me right now.
For some people, PDS Debt can help by providing debt consolidation plans, combining everything into one manageable payment. No minimum credit card score required. Get a free debt analysis right now at pdsdebt.com/lawbymike. It only takes 30 seconds. That's pdsdebt.com/lawbymike. This is not Jason's laptop. It hasn't been tampered with. Jason, show us what you can do to it.
I've got quite a selection. It's like of what I can do with it. Everything I'm pulling out is a hacking device.
Really?
No matter what it looks like, it will not equal good times for your network.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not done yet.
You use all this to rob a bank?
I like to have options. It's like, but yes, every single thing of these can be used to rob a bank. I'll go up to a receptionist or an assistant to a CEO. These are my normal looking hearing aids. They're actually my real hearing aids. I'll be in a suit looking all professional and I'm going, can I charge the hearing aids on your computer because the power on the wall is too powerful? What monster's not going to let me charge my hearing aids? I plug it in and then it's game over. You're compromised.
All right, so all I do is just plug this in and we'll attack my computer?
Just plug it in.
Wow. All right, let's see what happens.
No one's touching the keyboard, nothing up our sleeves.
What? Look, it just opened something. Oh man, it's like typing all this stuff on here. If I let you charge those hearing aids, you can take the data from my computer?
I can take all the data from your computer. I can take your identity. I will have all your stored passwords. I will have all your surfing history. And while you're still on the machine, I can still control it without you even realizing. I can find the information just on your social medias to like be able to call the bank, give them the password reset questions that you probably have, change my voice, change the story, and make them actually reset passwords. I have done that over the phone.
So basically, you can ruin someone's life because they decided to plug in a single charging cord.
I can ruin someone's life. I can destroy a company based off of these kind of attacks.
So what can people do to protect themselves from this?
Number one thing is don't plug into things into your computer that you're not aware of, that you didn't buy, you don't know. And another thing that you can do is like multi-factor is amazing. It's like password managers are amazing, but attackers are also now finding ways to bypass that with the human element by spamming multi-factor authentications until someone gets tired and says accept when they shouldn't. So it's all about the person being aware and just not being in a hurry and just doing it without thinking.
Slow down, think about it.
Yes.
All right, Jason, thank you so much for breaking this all down and bringing all this equipment.
Thank you for having me. I really love the opportunity to educate people almost as much as I love robbing people. So thank you.
We've seen how criminals steal from your computer. Now we're going to see how they steal from your bank accounts. Meet Zane, a guy who made his living skimming credit cards and quietly swiping financial info from thousands of people without ever getting caught. Since he's managed to stay under the radar, he's asked us to blur his face to keep him anonymous. But today he's here to show us exactly how it all goes down, and
This
more
nigga's still
importantly,
doing it.
how you can protect yourself.
If you ever been to a gas station or ATM, one of these has probably been sitting on top. Okay, well, we could go inside and I'll show you how it works. I normally target low-income gas stations whose clerks aren't really aware of what's going on.
What time of day do you normally do this?
In the daytime, around 5 or 6, that's when most people get off work. That's when the clerks are more busy.
How do you get it on without the clerk noticing?
All right, so I usually have my friend just come in here and distract the clerk. So I'll tell them, go in there and go get a pack of batteries or something. Take it to the batteries, and then it will just clip right on, and then I'll just walk right out.
How long does it take to put that on?
Literally 1 second.
And you get their PIN, you get everything?
Everything.
Wow.
So once the skimmer is on, I can get information on credit cards, on visas, on anything you name. It will come right to my phone. It's Bluetooth.
And you get this anywhere in the world?
Yes, no matter where I'm at.
What's the longest you had one of these on collecting information?
My longest is 8 months.
What's the biggest thing you ever bought with stolen cards?
The craziest thing probably was Disney. I did that for my son's birthday. I bought his flight, his hotel, and everything we did in the park was basically free.
Did you ever think about the people whose money you're spending?
Sometimes I feel bad, but I mean, it's a part of the game. So it's like, do I care? I do. But it happens to everybody. It happened to me.
Wait, you got scammed? You didn't check to see if there was a skimmer on there?
My food stamp card got scammed for $300.
On a similar thing? A machine just like that?
A similar thing.
So why don't you do it anymore?
I don't do it anymore because I have a kid now. I want to elevate my kid to be a better person than I was.
That's a great reason. Now that you're on the other side of it, what should people do to avoid falling for this scam?
I would say mostly try to use cash. Your card information literally can get anywhere, even at ATMs, gas stations, corner stores, Walmarts, anywhere.
Are there any tips for people to find out if a skimmer is on the machine?
You could feel around it to see if there's anything clipped on it. And there's another way is if you put your card in and then if you wiggle it, the top of it would wiggle with it because it's a little bigger.
When you scan your phone on it, does that work?
Not really.
It has to actually be inserted.
Inserted, yeah.
So that's another big tip for people. Do the tap cards if you have one. What about credit versus debit?
I would say use credit more because debit, your money is going to be automatically gone. Credit, it got strong security on it.
Zane, I appreciate you sharing this info. It's not easy admitting to the damage we caused, but your insight may save someone from becoming the next victim.
We've seen how criminals take from our wallets, our homes, our computers, and even our accounts. But this next man, he was on the FBI's most wanted list.
Hey, Matthew. All right, let's get straight to it. How does someone steal a house on paper?
It's actually very easy. You can find out anything you
My nigga, how do you steal a house?
Straight to it. How does someone steal a house on paper?
It's actually very easy. You can find out anything you want if you have someone's address, you go to public records. It's available to everybody. I can find out your name, when you bought the house, how much you bought the house for. If you have a mortgage on the house, I can find out your interest rate and your payment, all based on going to public records and looking that information up. Step 2, I would create a survey and I would go out and I would survey homeless people. I would ask for their name, date of birth, social security number, enough information for me to then order their birth certificate, social security card. I can then take a fake identity or synthetic identity, anybody I want. And what I can do is I can create a title to that house in that person's name. I then record it. It takes the name of the person that owns the house and it puts it in the new person's name. I can satisfy any mortgages by creating additional fake documents. So now I own the house. Step 3, I could put that house on the market. I could sell that house. I could refinance that house. It's not nearly as difficult as it should be.
What type of tools would you use to pull off this scam?
Let me show you. So we got driver's licenses. Obviously, you need passports. Also, you would need credit cards. The other thing is I would have burner phones so that if the bank needed to verify employment or that they had money in the bank or anything along those lines, I could grab the phone and it would have a little information sheet and I would know this phone goes to the bank. I would pick it up and act like I was from their employer.
All right, so how did you get caught?
Dateline NBC News was coming out with a special on me and I knew that was about to happen. So I decided to go to Australia. And what happened was I was having people that I knew cash checks for me so that I could get a couple $1 million as quickly as possible in cash. My girlfriend at the time confided in one of her girlfriends, and that girlfriend called the Secret Service, and for a $10,000 reward, she turned me in. They watched my house for 3 days, and one day I showed up and they jumped out of the cars and get on the ground, get on the ground.
Do you regret pulling these scams?
I would say I don't have an overwhelming amount of guilt that I should have just because I have antisocial disorder, just like most criminals do. I don't have an overwhelming amount of guilt in that aspect. What I have guilt for is I lost the opportunity to have a relationship with my son. I was not there for my parents in their elder years.
But now you're on the other side of it, and you say that people still fall for this scam all the time today?
Yeah, absolutely. It's easier to do now than it was 10, 20 years ago. The only way to really stop this scam is to monitor your title. Most public records out there allow you to sign up for a system where they will notify you of any changes to your title.
So if someone's watching this or their family owns property, what are some of the steps they can do to protect themselves?
Probably the best course of action is to go to a monitoring service that will monitor the title of your home home for you, and a lot of those services actually act as an advocate and will help correct any damage that's been done by a fraudster.
Matthew, I appreciate you coming by and sharing your insight. Hopefully this protects someone from becoming a victim. If you want to see more videos like this, click the video here. And thank you so much.
That is wild. These niggas do this shit with an ease. These niggas been doing this shit for the longest. I'm glad they resorted their life because they would have made shit to live in hell, bro. There's some wild shit going on. I ain't never heard of none of this shit. Nigga said find a spare key and take it because I might want to come back if I like the place. Nigga, what? You're a rude boy, aren't you? But that's how people get shot. But that's the end of the video. Like, comment, subscribe to our brother. I'm tired. I'm gonna post notifications, share the video, and tell me what you want to see me react to next in the comment section. See ya.